Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Today on Collection Lessons, I want to talk about active income and passive income. This is part of the Collection Lessons series. Anything I say on this channel is not anything advice, and let's get started. So I want to talk about active income and passive income because a lot of people have these misconceptions of what those mean, how they work, what is what, this and that, and this is just my interpretation of it. And there's lots of books and lots of things that, in my point, are accurate of what I think. Therefore, that's why I think the way that I think. So I want to talk about active and passive income. So active income, we're just going to draw on here. So active is on this side and passive is on this side. So things that are active income is basically generally when time equals dollars. And where does that happen? That happens usually at your job, where you get paid for your time, usually like in an hourly rate. Like, an hour of your time is worth, I don't know, $20 or something, let's say. Or you get paid in a salary way as well. Salary usually means that you work X amount of hours, or you promise the company X amount of hours minimum. And overtime is completely outside of this talk, I guess, but overtime is also part of active income, where you might either work for less, work for more dollars. It's funny how that works in both ways, but generally a job is active income. You got to be there, you got to do the thing to get paid. The performance of you doing the task might affect your salary or your wage a little bit, but you saving the company 200 hours doesn't give you the money usually, right? That's where you need to be active to get the income. So you can either have a job from if there's somebody like a CEO, is usually like the head of a company or top of a triangular structure, just like this. Got to remember that. Who's at the top? Who's making all the money? It's usually this guy. And what does this guy do? They hire people to perform tasks, to do jobs, right? So where I'm going with this is basically, you're at a company and, you perform the job. What happens when, you run your own company? And you don't, let's say, hire anybody, but in order for the company to be successful, you need to put in the work, right? Like something like, I'm thinking more like a self-employed or a self-made business or a small business, where you still equals time for equals dollars, but like, let's say a lawn mowing company or a lawn mowing business that you just create, right? Let's say you have, I don't know, $100,000, you buy a bunch of lawnmowers, you take calls, and then when you take the calls, you know that you have to go perform the task, and if you perform the task, you get the dollars. That's a small business mindset. That's a self-employed mindset. You just gave yourself a job. You're at the top of your own pyramid, and you pay yourself. That's basically how that works. What I want to talk about on the right, and where everybody eventually gets to or should get to, is called passive income, where time does not equal, and this is like a does not equal symbol, dollars. What I mean by that is usually there's two general ideas of the passive side of income. Usually it's something like an investing thing, so I'll call invest, and it could be investing in, let's say, like you. If you invest in yourself, you don't make dollars, or if you invest online, like in stocks, foreign exchange stuff, currencies of any sort, that type of thing, you invest to make money. I could put in $1,000 in something, not touch it, not do anything, not spend any amount of hours on it, and it can make money. It can make wealth, right? So my time, the 2 minutes that I spend to invest in a stock does not equal 2 minutes of an hourly salary, right? So that's investing in something, like a company or whoever, right? So that's one way of creating passive income. Another way of creating passive income is to have some sort of bigger business, or like a bigger model. So we'll call it a big business. Usually that means like something like you are the top of some sort of chain, or you're the top of something, or you're above something that that you have helped create wealth with, right? Or helped create wealth with them. So what that usually means or looks like is like, everyone thinks of like the Amazon CEO, Jeff Bezos, that makes so many millions and millions and millions. He put in all the upfront work, and now he's, you know, reaping the benefits, so to speak. He's making all the money. He's not working there 80 hours a week, I don't think, in what I've seen of him. So therefore his time isn't dollars, but he's still getting the benefits. So he belongs to a big business, passive income type of thing. Sure, he created a lot of like he created the company and everything, but his time during that time, you know, he was a self, you know, when he started Amazon, let's say it was just him, I think it's him and his wife. He was himself. He created a small business like this and moved it across to be a passive source of income, so he can enjoy his family, his time with everybody that he knows, and not be correlated time for dollars anymore, right? You can go from one to the other and backwards as well. It's not just a split divide, but where you want to be is on the right side. You want to be on the passive income. Some people work at their job for 30, 40 years, and while they're doing that, they're investing in something like a RSP or a pension or you know, whatever you want to call it, some sort of retirement fund, so that when they get rid of the active income side, when they, you know, quote unquote retire at 65, they then transition to a passive income where they just live off their investments. That's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. The other thing that I like to think of with big business is kind of like a bigger scale, or like an online one. So we'll call it like an online. And what I mean by online is basically like the time isn't correlated to dollars. Let's say I have like an Amazon store or something, right? Where I put up, let's say that I sell, I don't know, compressed gas is what I'm looking at right now, where it blows off the, you know, the dust off the computers. I can put something up like 20 of those on Amazon, and my time isn't correlated for dollars, meaning I have to wait for, you know, sales. And when the sales happen, that's when the income is generated. So, you know, it's not like I'm working super hard and the profit from 20, I don't know, compressed gas dusters, let's say is like $200, and all I did was put it up for sale. That's a form of passive income, right? You want to generate that. And sure, if I could like constantly flip, you know, electronic compressed gas dusters online, that'd be a form of a bigger business, like a big scale business. It's duplicatable, it's scalable, that type of thing. You know, another thing is even like these YouTube videos, you know, people get huge, you know, views, subscribers, and that type of thing. And that's a form of a big business model, right? Where, you know, people create videos for, I don't know, a year and then don't post any videos after, but they're videos from before, either gaining traction, gaining momentum, that are still providing them dollars in the future, right? And usually, like, I think I'll go into another video with this where, you know, usually a job is kind of like, you start and you get trained and your money kind of goes like this, right? And you start up here and your money kind of generally goes in that direction, whereas on the passive side, generally you start at the bottom and by the end it kind of looks like this. It's two different scales. I'll go into another video of that later in the future, but today I want to talk about the active and passive income. People think, well, you don't do anything and you make money, that's passive income. Well, it's like, no, you always do something. It's just, where do you spend your time to do those things, right? Where's your time and dollars? Are they correlated? Are they, you know, like locked to each other? Like this is like a typical job, is where your dollars and time are locked to each other. You don't get paid if you don't show up, right? Whereas here, your time isn't locked to dollars. So I wanted to share that. It's a quick one. Active income versus passive income, just to generally outline what they look like. I know that there's some books out there. I think Robert Kiyosaki, when I read one of his books, he talks about a quadrant system. It's very similar, exact same thing. Left side is more active income, time for dollars. Right side is passive income, time not for dollars. But you generally want to get to the passive income side because you'll become more wealthy in time and in money. It's just a starter up. The slope to start that is the hardest part, right? But by the compound effect and everything, eventually you'd make it much higher than anybody that can on a job dollar for time type thing. And yeah, I wanted to share that with this video. Thanks, and talk soon.